Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! Together we have created something special for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, because the reality that we are faced with tonight is somewhere out there in this really big universe, with even how big this universe seems to be. There is a girl out there who loves Descendants of Zombies so much. So because she loves Descendants of Zombies so much, she just wants to watch the best Descendants of Zombies videos that she can find by clicking on somebody's thumbnail. And all I've ever wanted to do is be a part of that. And all I've ever wanted to do along with being a part of it is to honor her legacy for being a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Perhaps you are somebody who has followed the Descendants of Zombies franchises for what feels like an eternity. So because you have followed the franchises for forever and you know everything there is to know about Descendants of Zombies, if you give me a moment, I can promise you guys you will not regret it, because I will give you guys the honor and the respect that you guys have deserved for forever and always when it comes to your favorite stars, because these stars still have a long way to go, and I really do believe that their legacies are going to shine brighter in the constellation of stars out there in this really big universe, brighter than they've ever shined before, because I've just wanted to be a part of something special. And you know something? Because of you guys, I had the chance to be a part of something special at the expense of Descendants of Zombies. And I went on to create over 700 videos about Descendants of Zombies that I shared with you. And through everything, we've laughed together, we've cried together, and we've shared in some of the most unforgettable moments as Disney fans and fans of Descendants of Zombies, moments that truly have defined us for being some of the greatest fans of all time. I know more than I ever have that you guys are the greatest fans in the world for how incredibly supportive you've been of every video that I've ever uploaded here for every fan of Descendants of Zombies. And even with how big this universe seems to be, there are still so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies that I have yet to meet. So that means that I've got my work cut out for me, and I still have a long way to go. But I wouldn't want to get there by myself. I want to get there with each and every one of you by my side. Thank you so much for all the love and support you have shown every video that I've ever uploaded here. And I have done it with such honor and such pride, which I wish more YouTube creators would approach every video they ever create and produce and upload to YouTube every night about Descendants of Zombies, because what you've really got to understand is how your audience feels about Descendants of Zombies. They feel very passionate about Descendants of Zombies, and almost if they've been a part of something special from the very beginning. And I know this to be more true and more evident than ever before, and very apparent, because some of you have been here from the very beginning and the very first video that was ever uploaded here. I had no idea how it was going to be received or what kind of response I was going to receive for how I felt about Descendants of Zombies, but I just wanted to share my story with each and every one of you. And I wanted to tie in everyday stories and experiences that I went through in my own life to Descendants of Zombies, because I found some of these stories were very entertaining, and I wanted to put smiles on each and every one of your faces. Because one of the most rewarding feelings of all time that I get from every video that I've ever uploaded is knowing that I put a smile on each and every one of your faces and I can make you laugh. I've told you guys so many crazy stories about how I thought my roommate may have been a werewolf, my girlfriend may have been a vampire, even my best friends were crazy. But each and every one of you love these stories so much, and you guys saw something special in this YouTube channel from the very beginning, and you still see something special in this YouTube channel from all the wonderful stories that I've told you. And I've also had the honor of meeting you guys and hearing your stories about what makes you fans of Descendants of Zombies and why you love Kylie Cantrell so much. So the best way to honor your favorite stars is to continue to upload the best videos that I possibly can and come through with about Descendants of Zombies, while honoring your favorite stars' legacies and also honoring your legacies, because we each have a legacy. Sometimes it's very hard to find our place in the world. I know that to be more evident than ever before, but that doesn't mean that we can't get there with the moral support we receive from our friends and our family members and people who come in and out of our lives all the time, because this world is forever and always changing, but that's what creates diversity. And I know not everybody feels the same way about Descendants of Zombies, but the fans of Descendants of Zombies really are diehard when it comes to stars like Kylie Cantrell, who have forever and always wanted to be a part of something special because they were a fan at one time or another in their lifetime of High School Musical, of Descendants. I can remember how Kylie Cantrell used to watch videos of Descendants on YouTube every night on her phone and her tablet, wanting to be a part of this franchise because it was her dream. And then she had a chance to be a part of a TV series called Bizarre Verk as Tessa's cousin, Paige's cousin. It was really cool how she was a part of some of these guest appearances on Bizarre Verk. I know a lot of people took exception to Bizarre Verk, but once you took a chance on Bizarre Verk and Kylie Cantrell, then came Gabby Duran and the Unsittables. And from there spun off the High School Musical, the TV series, and the dawning of the character Red, which was a very different presentation when it came to a Descendants character, but someone who we fell very quickly in love with. We thought of someone being fearless, someone being strong, and when you think about somebody being fearless and strong, The one person who forever and always comes to mind, or at least in my mind, in my head, has always been Kylie Contrell. For how much heart and dedication she has brought forth, for everything that she's ever been a part of, every chance that we've taken on her has been worth it in the end. And I must say, she's never let me down or left me disappointed. There have been many Disney stars over the years that I've been let down and disappointed because of, but I've never been let down or left disappointed because of Kylie Contrell, because when the dust settles and the smoke clears from every project that Kylie Contrell has ever been a part of, what more needs to be said than that she's just a lovely person? I think the same thing can be said about Ruby Rose Turner, because she's believed in every co-star that she's ever brought the best out of. On the set of Descendants, of course, Kylie Contrell, Malia Baker, and their friendship with Ruby Rose Turner has forever remained constant. If there's one constant thing about Descendants and Zombies, are these beautiful friendships that we've all been a part of, because at one point or another in our own lives, we could relate to our own friendships that kind of could be compared to Kylie Contrell, Malia Baker, and of course Ruby Rose Turner. They've become a threesome, if anything, that seem inseparable. And that's the one thing that I love so much about these franchises, are these friendships, and how inseparable people became, of how much of a mutual understanding they reach with each other, because they've been there for each other every step of the way. You know, I watched a lot of videos today about the friendship between Malachi Burton and Freya Skye, and I must say, it really warms my heart to feel how Kylie Contrell, Freya Skye, Meg Donnelly feel about each other, especially when you talk about the friendship between Freya Skye and Malachi Burton. There was a clip in this video that I watched about the journey of Victor and Nova, where she said that she loved Malachi so much that she couldn't even put into words. She's never seemed to have the courage to tell him face to face how she truly feels about him. All she wanted him to know was that she loved him so much. And it just goes to show what I've been saying on this YouTube channel to forever and always remain true, about how you don't really have to tell a person how you feel about them. You can show it and you can tell it every single time through your actions. Because how many of you out there have had a crush on somebody that you've never been able to have the courage to tell them how you truly feel? But you show it every day in your actions. You know, when I was in grade 8, I had this one girl who forever and always had a crush on me, but she could never tell me how she felt about me. So the best way she knew how to show me was by poking me in the back every single day of her life. And sometimes she would poke me 45, 50 times throughout the course of a 5-hour day in high school, until she eventually had the courage to tell me how she truly felt about me. And lucky for her, the feeling was mutual and we hit it off. You know, I know this doesn't happen every day, but there's forever and always somebody in your life that you consider to be a special person, that you think that after having seen them in a reoccurring dream, or however you met them, that you would have even the slightest chance of spending the rest of their lives with you. And the thing is, that's a beautiful thing, and that's something that I forever and always wanted you to feel a part of, forever and always hold on to, and keep close to your heart. Because if you don't have that, what do you really have? I think that there is such a thing as unconditional love. I think everybody deserves the right to experience it with whoever you want to experience it with. And I think more of a chance should be taken on these opportunities, because we only have one life to live. And because we only have one life to live, that means that we have to make it count, because we never seem to know how much time we have. And I think that's what your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars have always wanted to do, is be a part of something special at your expense, and to be a part of that with each and every one of you. Because to be a part of something with no fan support and no love is an entirely different experience, and an entirely different way to perceive something. But when you're a part of something special with so many people who feel inspired and can always and forever count on you for inspirational thoughts and messages and just hope for the foreseeable future, that makes it something ever more special than perhaps ever given credit for. And really, because I've always wanted to leave behind a legacy, and long after my time on this earth is through, having solidified the legacies of your favorite Descendants and Zombie stars, because that's seemingly all I've ever wanted to be a part of, because there's always been something about my voice having been associated with this franchise, I've always counted on that, and I've always looked forward to producing the best videos possible when it came to Descendants and Zombies and its fans, because this is the most incredibly supportive niche that I've ever had the honor to record a video for. And for that, from my heart to yours, I just simply want to say thank you so much for having believed in my thoughts on this franchise, all my crazy predictions, how I wanted to be a part of a zombie apocalypse for forever. And I've been preparing for a zombie apocalypse, having played every horror survival video game on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, as you see from the back there. I virtually have collected every PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 video game in existence, and I've spent a lot of time and money in that. But the thing is, guys, you can never be too prepared prepared for a zombie apocalypse, and you can never be too sure. You should never believe what these scientific experts will suggest to you about how the chances of a zombie apocalypse will never ever happen. I don't know if I've ever believed that. Because what it comes down to for Hope for Zombies 5 and Descendants 5 is how much you believe in the expansion of the franchise, and how much you believe in the story having an expansion and being continued on with from chapter to chapter. The thing is, if you notice anything about the journey of Victor and Nova, even with how much we know about them, there is still much for us to learn and know about a character, and we can never know everything about a character. As much as we seem to know, and we think we know everything about them, there is still much for us to find out, and there's still so much for us to be a part of. And I think because this journey is just beginning, we're all going to accept them just as much as we accept the story of Zed and Addison and their love story, which was very beautiful because we all felt a part of it. And we all felt similar to the situations we had encountered in our own lives that made us feel a part of Zed and Addison's existence as a part of the Zombies franchise, because over the course of 7 years, they gave us so much. If anything, they gave us a piece of their hearts. And that's what meant so much to them, is because we could touch our hearts with their story time and time again. Whenever we felt lost, whenever we couldn't make sense of what was going on around us, Zed and Addison always came through for us because of their beautiful love story. And I think that Victor and Nova's story, because it's just beginning, is going to be far more beautiful than we've ever given it credit for. We've shown it a tremendous amount of respect, but even with how much respect we have shown it, there is still so much of a story for us to be told about these characters, so much for us to find out, and I've never felt more intrigued to have been a part of it. One of the greatest joys that I get from creating these videos is not only having the chance to talk about Descendants of Zombies with thousands of people and perhaps millions that I don't even know about, it's having the honor to meet each and every one of you, which is why I would love to take myself up in the opportunity to attend these Zombies and Descendants conventions every single time they happen, because I would love to have the honor to meet so many wonderful people of Descendants of Zombies that I've never had the chance to meet. Because there are 600,000 fans of Descendants of Zombies on YouTube that watch these videos every night. And more people on YouTube know who Jonathan Clarke on YouTube is, know who I am, because of the profound impact that Descendants of Zombies has gone on to have, and the reputation that it's gone on to garner for touching our hearts in so many unbelievable ways. Perhaps that it's something to do with the music and songs like Dream Come True and Go My Own Way and Legends in the Making and Show the World, or Descendants is Red, or Life is Sweeter When You Are, or Get Your Hands Dirty. There have been so many wonderful moments that have made us fans of Descendants of Zombies and left us more intrigued than perhaps ever before, or any other franchise that ever came before it, or will ever long surpass it. Because nothing like this has ever touched my heart in so many emphatic ways, quite like Descendants of Zombies. Guys, no matter where I go from here on out, or whatever becomes of me as the host of this show, because I've been the host of many podcasts over the years, I will never forget the profound impact that Descendants of Zombies had, and how many countless ways it touched my heart. So I can't even begin to put into words how many times this franchise or franchises have touched my heart, which is why I really do believe that more of a chance should be taken on these stars than perhaps ever before, and we have been given more of a reason than ever before to perhaps believe in this story continuing. Because you don't really believe that a story was told in just under 87 minutes and told and completed now, do you? I've never believed that for a single moment in my lifetime, because I think that 90 minutes is just pretty much an introductory ballad to what Descendants of Zombies has yet to offer. And there are so many supernatural characters beyond what we've seen yet to find their way into the Zombies franchise, from mermaids to pirates to witches having been suggested. I would even go a step further and suggest goblins, trolls, even unicorns, because there's just something about Freya Sky riding on a unicorn high above the sky and in the clouds and the stars that looks absolutely beautiful. And just the thought of that, offering us an expansion or giving us something to believe in, sounds quite wonderful. And as long as you guys continue to believe in Descendants of Zombies and hold on to these franchises for how much they've touched your heart over the years, there's always going to be something to look forward to for Descendants of Zombies. I've never really cared or paid any attention to what a critic may have said or how they felt about Descendants of Zombies, because the more of a chance that we take on these franchises and continue to take for the foreseeable future, only beautiful things are going to arise from out of the abyss, from out of nowhere. And I think that critics are just criticizing Descendants of Zombies just to get reactions out of each and every one of us, which is completely unnecessary. I think that if a girl is passionate about collecting her favorite Descendants of Zombies dolls, passionate about the story, wanting to find out what's going to happen next, YouTubing every night what she thinks is going to happen or what she wants to find out, what she wants to know, I think that's something for us to hold on to and believe in. And if there's one thing that I wanted to do throughout the course of every video, the 700 that I've uploaded here on this YouTube channel, is give each and every one of you hope. And to be a part of that hope as your voice of Descendants of Zombies as I forge onward and continue to represent you as your voice of Descendants of Zombies. Now, I know there is a Descendants podcast, a Christmas podcast originally that was first emerged about a week and a half ago, but it is not as popular as this YouTube channel or this podcast. This has become the most popular Descendants podcast in the world for my opinions that I've shared with each and every one of you. I have no idea where this Descendants Christmas podcast first emerged or how it came to be. Obviously, somebody out there is trying to make a name for themselves off Descendants of Zombies. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to share a story with you in every video, and I have shared with you hundreds of stories about how I felt inspired by Descendants of Zombies, and this is why this YouTube channel is so popular. For those of you wondering how to create a popular YouTube channel, it's only easy. All you've got to have in every video that you've ever uploaded about Descendants of Zombies per se is have heart. And as long as you can approach every video with heart, then you've got something to hold on to and for everybody else to believe in. Because that hope is something they will carry with them into the foreseeable future when it comes to Descendants of Zombies. And it is something that I am incredibly excited to be a part of it with each and every one of you from beginning to end. This is something that I wanted to see through when it comes to a story, and this is something that I've been very excited and felt very intrigued to have been a part of. Because moments like these, as I've said many times, are only ever meant to happen once in every lifetime, no matter how many times they happen. They are only ever guaranteed to happen once. So these are moments that should forever and always be cherished and should forever and always be kept close to our hearts, because a lot of people don't feel the same way that I have about Descendants of Zombies and thinks these characters are just as beautiful as what I have. Because to be honest with each and every one of you guys, these girls have a long way to go, and the more love and support that we can show them in every video that we ever upload about Descendants of Zombies really goes a long way. Kindness really does go a longer way in this world as long as you believe in it and as long as you continue to promote it. And I know a lot of people have very different ways of promoting their own version of kindness, but until you really realize the profound impact that kindness can truly have on a person's heart, it really allows you to put your own life into perspective and everything going on around you. And that's all I've ever wanted to be a part of. And you guys have really helped me carve and leave behind a legacy, which is something I will never ever forget as we approach 100,000 views on this YouTube channel and nearly 4,000 subscribers, which is something I will never ever forget any of you for. Because, as I said, this YouTube channel had 5 subscribers, and this YouTube channel seemingly exploded overnight with me sharing my stories with you guys about how I was a fan of Descendants of Zombies. And it's something that I know I will never ever forget, and I will forever and always hold close to my heart. Guys, thank you so much for having believed in this YouTube channel so much, because I have no idea where I'd be tonight without your love and support. Because your love and support for this YouTube channel has been continuous. It's the one thing that's forever and always remained constant when it comes to recording these videos, and it's something that I will never ever forget any of you for. I know sometimes my opinions about Descendants of Zombies can be very far-fetched and sometimes really out there, but I like to believe that I put a smile on each and every one of your faces for how much you believed in the Descendants of Zombies franchises from the very beginning, and I forever and always held on to that. And it's the one thing that's forever and always remained constant in my heart, because somewhere, somehow, I've been able to understand everybody and how you feel about Descendants of Zombies, and that's why I've been able to go on to record over 700 videos on this YouTube channel. And in these YouTube channel archives, there really is something here emerging for everybody. You may be a fan of Tangled and Phineas and Ferb and Hannah Montana and even Taylor Swift, and there is something here for you. And it has everything to do with my rarity and how I've been around for a very long time, and you guys have gotten to know me for being one of the biggest Disney fans and supporters in the entire galaxy. And the way I perceive it is there's no other better way to be than by being a huge fan of Descendants of Zombies and everything Disney and Nickelodeon related. I've always loved pop culture, and I think pop culture is exploding and forever and always changing and evolving. I think those are the best words to describe pop culture. It's always going through an evolutionary process. And as we see it change over the years and pop icons becoming Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber and Ariana Grande and morphing into something completely different, I think that our stars that we forever and always felt idolized by and have forever and always remained constant, that we've held on to, have forever and always remained special to each and every one of our hearts in so many different unique ways. And that's the best way to define what Descendants of Zombies represents for each and every one of us. A chance at second hopes, a chance at true love, a chance at this or that. It is really beautiful having the chance to be a part of this and get to know you guys for the people that you are and how you represent yourselves through being Descendants of Zombies fans. And for that, I would just like to simply say thank you so much for having believed in me as much as what you have from the very beginning and the very first video that was ever uploaded here, as we continue to show an undeniable amount of love and support for Kylie Contrell, Ruby Rose Turner, and come through with that every single time. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you have shown this YouTube channel. Thank you from my heart to yours, as this has become the most popular Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel in the world, and certainly one of the most revered, an opportunity and a time in my life that I will never ever forget and forever and always cherish. Thank you guys so much from wherever you hear my voice or wherever you may be watching this video out there in this really big universe tonight. But even with how big this universe is, the one thing that has forever and always remained constant is our love and support that we've shown for Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for having watched this video and believing in Descendants of Zombies, these two franchises, as much as what we have, and hopefully will continue to do for the foreseeable future, because this story is far from over. Thank you so much for having believed in every video that I've ever uploaded, and thank you so much for having watched this video. Don't forget to hit my like, subscribe, and to ring my bell for every single time that I upload a video on this YouTube channel, because there is something here for everybody. Thank you so much for having believed in me, held on to my love and support for Descendants of Zombies, and watching this video. I hope you've had fun, and it's been just as much fun for me recording and producing these videos for every single person who's ever believed in Descendants of Zombies. Thank you so much for having watched and loved and supported these videos from the very beginning.